Y'all, the mere fact that we're starting this story with a concert where the audience looks like they call each other men of culture gives me a lot of hope about what the show is going to be about. Performing on the stage is an idol group called B Komachi, and this Four Eyes is one of the many male fans that drool over them. It takes one to know one. In the center of this group is their leader, the 16-year-old Hoshino Ai. The way he is describing a 16-year-old has me concerned. The passion is almost sickening. Very sickening. The simp's name is Amamiya Goru. He's literally watching this coverage from the room of his patient. I thought he turned out to be a shut-in or something like that, but dang, a fracking doctor? I think that changes a whole lot of perspectives. His nurse brings him some bad news. Enough for him to replace the patient that's on his bed. Hoshino Ai, the pop idol, has tweeted that she is now going on a hiatus. She even calls him a lolicon for being so head over heels for a literal child, but the doctor has a story to share. His infatuation for Ai comes from one of his patients whom he looked over. She was a kid who, based on how I see her, was dealing with something very serious. She was a big fan of Ai, and the doctor was there to see her passion. In fact, she was such a big fan that she used to think about being reborn as someone like her, should she get a new life. And no surprise, the child passed away, and he continued to admire Ai just for the sake of his patient. They get back to work, and he gets a new batch of patients, one of which is pregnant at the age of 16. She's there with a shady caretaker, and her hair looks quite familiar. Oh, hell no! That's the one he was drooling over a while ago. Now she's knocked up and looking for his help. We now know why she went on a hiatus. He sends them to the examination room and takes a moment to marvel and regret what he just saw. As for who the father is, well, she insists on keeping it a secret, so I guess we're gonna have to wait till we see the lucky man. He then reports that she is blessed with twins and is 20 weeks pregnant. They're not sure if she should keep the children or save her career, and she asks Goru for his opinion. They later meet up at the rooftop where he mentions how much he knows about her work. One of his patients used to be her fan. She then tells him how she doesn't plan to stop being an idol, but also wants a family, so she's keeping the twins. She plans to hide the children and lie about her motherhood to the entire world. So that's what they meant when they said a lie could be used as a weapon. Seeing her resolve is enough for him to make a decision to help her through the delivery process. Since she chooses to do it naturally, he helps her throughout the pregnancy to make sure that both the mother and the children remain fit. The day of the delivery finally closes in, and they make it to the 40th week. A random man approaches Goru from outside the hospital asking about Ai. He starts to ask some personal questions, but after a bit of persuasion, he makes a run for it. Excuse me, what? He followed the stalker all the way to a frickin' cliff and got pushed down? Is he dead? Well, he's alive, but barely. His intrusive thoughts are still about Ai and how he has to be there right now for the delivery. As he draws his last breath, he thinks about what his patient Serena once said about being reborn. She turned out to be right, as Goru is now reborn as one of Ai's twin children. You good? Familiar.
Yeah,
Someone thought of this
correct.
and then made it a show.
Yep,
I don't like being human anymore.
get in line.
His new name is Aquamarine Hoshino, and he sure seems to be chill about this whole situation. He's born with all his intelligence and past memories, much like Rudius. Of course, he has a twin sister named Hoshino Ruby, who he doesn't have a high opinion of. That's literally just a kid, though. Ai is now healed enough to make a huge comeback, and Saito's wife Miyako will look after the children while she's gone. Oh my gosh, y'all. What if the father is another reincarnation of him? So he's basically all three versions. I'm calling that right now. That's so the plot twist. Miyako's not the best babysitter out there, and she falls asleep during her work. This gives Aqua the chance to turn the TV on and watch his mother. I still cannot process that she is his mother now.
I can't process how we're still on YouTube.
The production company behind B Komachi seems to have gotten sour on the band's content ever since her hiatus. There's still a big draw, so somehow they have to keep the praises intact. Despite all that time off, Ai and the band give off a brilliant performance, and this baby simp still has the same look on his face compared to when he was a doctor. So Aqua's not the only one who's been reborn. Ruby is also a reincarnation of someone, and she also has the intelligence of a fully grown human. They know each other's secret and seem to be just freaking chill about it. What's funny is that he deliberately avoids being breastfed by her because it'd be too weird for him. That's just wrong on so many levels. His mother, not his sister. Oh man, that was wrong on too many levels. Well, not much of a problem for Ruby though. She can be breastfed all she wants and even shows it off to the unfortunate Aqua. Miyako, on the other hand, has been gradually losing her mind over the babysitting job. She reaches her limit and starts to make plans about revealing Ai's secret to the whole world just out of spite. Aqua has a very clear idea to handle this. In Miyako's mind, he's still a child who can't talk. So if he were to talk to her as a divine messenger of God, she'd surely believe it, right? Which she doesn't at first. But then Ruby starts to do the same, after which Miyako comes face to face with reality, where God might just be talking to her. They talk about how Ai is the chosen one, and this is the job of the gods to protect her. Anyone who gets in the way will be heavenly punished. Holy frick. The only solution for her is to take good care of the mother and the children, which will one day hopefully reward her with a better husband. Seeing Ruby talk about Ai like that reminds him of his patient Serena, and he doesn't know that Ruby is actually Serena herself. Whoa! She also suspects that Aqua could be her doctor, but it's too great of a coincidence for her to believe it. Despite being Komachi's rebirth and their newfound success, Ai is not particularly happy with her payment. The agency has started to become a lot greedier than they once were. That's relatable. It wouldn't be a problem if it was only her, but now she has 2 kids to take care of. They think about all the hard work that goes into their beloved idols, and naturally, the only person they can complain to is Miyako. She then complains to them the scary business life of Tokyo and how it's full of leeches. That's just the business. The babysitter really is growing into her role, though, taking the kids to see one of their mother's mini concerts. How cool is that? They have to make sure that they don't stand out too much while they're there, so pacifiers are a great solution to that. Ai, who had recently read a critical comment about her smile and overall inhuman expression, is constantly thinking about how obnoxious her fans are, while she's performing, no less. How do these people even notice that the audience look like a bunch of robots who were programmed to say, yeah, on loop? Actually, it might be a little obvious. She looks completely out of it while thinking over something like that. Of course, Aqua has to come to the rescue, and all he can say is goo goo gaga in baby language. It's not just him, though. Both kids are doing the same with the glowing sticks. Talk about not standing out. This is just announcing to the whole world that you're unique. That little clip of them is enough for her to lift her spirits, and even it gets retweeted thousands of times. It sure is something made for being viral. That was such a weird time to go for a time skip suddenly. They just skipped past a couple of years, and the kids are big enough to be running around now. As they develop throughout the years, she finds that her kids are a lot smarter than they should be, given their age. Aqua fears that she might be suspecting their whole reincarnation scheme. It's not like they didn't try. But I think it's just that her kids are geniuses. We'll go with that. Things have been wrapping up for Ai as well. She's gone from being an idol to a radio jockey and is on her way to her first TV drama. The kids are there with her too, and Miyako has to remind them that they're there as her kids, not Ai's. They have to remain conscious about calling her mother. Everyone in the set loves the manager's kids, and Ruby is feeling up every moment of it. Aqua runs into the director, who sounds and looks like a super rude person, as such his guard is up around him. He is so impressed by the politeness and the manners that Aqua shows that he offers him a business card and a chance to star in his own role. What? After bonding with the kid, he gets candid about how hard TV is going to be for Ai. The market is already filled with stereotypes, and Ai belongs to the most unfavorable ones. But Aqua believes that Ai has what it takes to make it big, despite her reputation as a popular idol. The actual episode airs, and, well, as expected, they cut out a lot of her part, which makes her wonder if her acting is below average. Aqua doesn't appreciate this and calls the director to directly ask about the cuts that he made. Apparently, he got directions from the higher-ups about how Ai was just too cute for the role and was taking all the eyes off the lead actress. He takes his chance to set a condition. Ai will be featured on screen more often if he decides to take a role for himself too. He being Aqua. He then attends a set as promised, and despite the potential offer of having Ruby star too, the director has his eyes set on Aqua, which is the one he actually wants. Ruby is at the set too, and she's being stingy for no reason to try and ruin Aqua's mood while she's there. They are then approached by Kana Arima, another child actress who wants them to leave if they're going to be that noisy. She's very dislikable from the very get-go, and even more so when she talks about how she knows Ai, whose acting, according to her, was terrible. Ruby and Aqua are supposed to play the role of creepy children that Arima will encounter in the first episode, which makes me wonder if she's in the leading role here. The director believes that there's a unique sense of creepiness to Aqua that transcends beyond the limits of acting it out. Brother, what? Even the adult actress feels this chill while filming a shot with him. He was a doctor in his past life. What the frick? What's creepy about him? Arima's not happy with her performance and wants the whole thing to be reshot. She wants to look better than that boy. Dang, she cried her throat out here just because one dude was better than her in one scene. The director then consoles him later, talking about how just acting is not enough and communication skills are just as important. Time keeps passing with each major incident, and with Ai nearing her 20th birthday, Aqua begins to reflect on how his life has been up till this point, which isn't entirely bad. Over these years, he's constantly been searching for the news of his dead body, the doctor's body, and even after 4 years, there's been no sign of it. I'm surprised that we know he's been reborn, yet he hasn't made the conclusion that his dead body might have magically disappeared. They then get enrolled in a preschool, and despite being together for 4 years, Aqua is now curious about how old she was in her past life. Ruby doesn't want to look like someone who was younger than him, and so she lies about being an adult woman. And there go his chances to figure out that she's actually Serena. She gets depressed over her dancing classes since the final moments of her past life were not so kind to her feet. Aqua gives her some words of encouragement, which aren't nearly enough, and so Ai is there to help her daughter through it. She does a performance for her, and Ruby is quick to catch on the lack of choreography there. She's been watching her for so many years on TV, so of course she knows just about everything she has to know about the way Ai dances. She falls while trying to recreate that posture, and Ai guides her through the entire process, making sure that she overcomes her clumsiness. As she begins to learn to dance, she remembers her days as a patient who quickly turned immobile and helpless. She would watch videos of Ai dancing her heart out to make herself feel better, since she can't do it herself, or at least in the past life. As the kids grow older, Ai decides that it's time for them to meet up with their father, which, holy frick, I forgot they kept that a secret for so long. Man, my prediction's gonna be wrong, isn't it? Dude, they're stretching this part out really long. I'm sitting here fucking drooling, craving to see a daddy, who honestly should not be liked since he has not been there for his kids, not even a little bit, unless I'm right. Someone finally rings the door, and she opens it to see a man in a hood with flowers asking about the twins. Is that the father? She didn't seem like the kind of guy who'd strike anyone as a dad. Oh, well, the white flowers that he brought for her actually painted red with her blood. That bloke just stabbed her. Oh.
You good?
Familiar?
Yeah?
I really don't want to be a human anymore.
Yep, we got free coasters in that club I was talking about.
Toasters?
Coasters.
Like the things you put drinks on?
Yeah.
That's frickin' dumb.
What?
I guess it is the same guy that pushed Goro off the cliff. The initial stab wound is not enough to kill Ai. She's still standing. Aqua walks up to check and sees his injured mother and a deranged man with a knife. His confidence is broken down in seconds as Ai starts to become honest regarding how she feels about herself. She sticks out her hand to what she sees as a fan, talking about how she still wants to love him. So is this the father or not? Can we answer that question before you die? He's a bit startled, but calls her out for being a liar since she doesn't even know who he is. She does though. His name is Ryosuke, and he used to be there at every event to shake her hand. That was more than enough for poor Ryo to lose his mind and run. Aqua calls the ambulance, but of course it starts to get worse for her. She holds her son to her chest and starts to say her final goodbyes, while the daughter listens to all of this from the other side of the door. Jeez, dude, the way she went out saying, "I love you" to her children. That was so dark so fast. And just like that, Ai's life comes to an end. Now where is she gonna be reborn? The Bikamachi fan base is rattled over the death of her news. Did I really just say the death of her news?
Yep.
The news of her death. And they start to hold gatherings and paint walls with her graffiti. There was of course going to be a bunch of trolls online who were gonna make a joke out of her death. There always is. While Aqua took it all sportingly due to his higher intellect, Serena was still just a child, even before she was reborn. Miyako, who has been the best character up until now, asks the kids if they would give her the honor to be their mother. Only after a couple of days of Ai's death does Aqua begin to realize that the death of his mother was not so transparent. The stalker that killed him and his mother he was merely a fan who had no business detecting them like that. He starts to realize that there were others involved, people close to Ai, who knew about her life from the inside. The only possible answer is the father, the person that knows Ai more than anyone, and the guy that has not been seen yet. As such, he makes a vow to find out who's involved alongside his father and then kill them with his own hands. The first step comes in the form of the director. Aqua wants him to be his caretaker, and yet we have another time skip. Now they're both high schoolers, which also marks the start of Aqua's revenge tale. Also, did we notice that the main character is named Aquamarine, but he looks like the main character from the dweeb game Genshin Impact? Aqua is now on the path to getting revenge for his patient/mother who got gutted right in front of him. Our story continues with Ruby submitting her application to star as an idol, like mother like daughter. She's waiting for the results and discussing her performance with her friends. Now, it's been years since she met the requirements for a proper audition, and she wants this one to count. Her friends, as secondary as they look, sure are happy about her audition, and they believe that she will be passing it with maximum pointage. Ruby has had a secretive life up to this point. Her friends don't know that she's the child of Hoshino Ai, the famous idol whom she aspires to be like. The second is pretty obvious. She has a brother who is as hot. No, that's not it. She has memories of her previous life where she was a cancer patient and things were not very idol-like. Even in that life, she was a fan of her mom, who in that life was not her mom, but a random girl. Do you see what I was trying to say about the plot? Aquamarine is acting like any big brother would, especially when things are so complicated between them. He wants her to study for an entrance exam and take her education seriously, but for her, the idol life is a perfect escape from all things nerd. Yeah, what now? You're going actively into the nerddom. He actively tries to divert her attention away from the idol, real life, especially when she sees how hectic it can be and how low it pays. It pays low? There's also the possibility of a stalker similar to the time his mom had one and she was gutted. I think we're all well acquainted with that story by now. Ruby has a lingering feeling that Aqua's nature has changed ever since their mother died. He looks like a part of her soul died with her. I mean, he is someone who has died once, so I'm not surprised. Is that how that works? He also got set up at the director's place and has been his apprentice ever since. The two of them are always up to something, but she doesn't know what that is. Ichigo, Ai's manager, has also lost contact, and Miyako is the one handling things for the agency. As for Bikamachi, the band disbanded after Ai's death. Miyako's still in touch. She did promise to take the role of their mother after all, and it's nice to see that she's actually doing that. Remember when she was planning on exposing Ai's secrets to the whole world? Yeah, I'll never forget that. She's the one Ruby talks to most of the time. She's also the one who's helping her with her dream of being an idol. She gets a call from the audition agency while she is with Miyako, and the news ain't good. They want her to apply again next year. The best way to say, we don't want you. Ruby starts to cry, and Miyako immediately swoops in to hug her like she had been expecting a response like that. Okay, so wait. Aqua and the director were the ones behind her rejection. That was foul, but well damn played, fooling your own sister like that. I'd like to assume that Miyako's on the same train too, because that instant reaction from her was like way too sus. He already sent a notice from Ruby's phone to the real agency and told them that she doesn't want to continue. The director wants to know why he's going to such lengths to keep his sister from reaching her goals, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He doesn't want her to be the same as I. He also feels this weird sense of responsibility where he has to take care of everything. All that effort proves to be for naught when a random person on the street gives Ruby a card and asks her to contact their idol agency. They're in an underground idol recruitment organization, and both Miyako and Aqua have the same reaction to their news. They have to be working together. My suspicions are right. Miyako is well aware of the fact that Aqua's trying to sabotage Ruby, and she doesn't have much of a problem with it. She does feel like she should be doing more to protect her too, but she has raised Ruby like a daughter, so she also wants her to live her dream. He already has a plan though. He takes away a business card from Strawberry and approaches a random girl on the street. He brings the girl to the studio, and what is up with that look of his? It's almost too good to be true. The girl, Lala, is currently working with the same agency that scouted Ruby earlier. Their name is Yibu. Oh man, I can see where he's trying to go with this. What a cunner. He tries to bait her into providing information about the things that Yibu has been offering her and how he can interest her in a better deal. She makes about 100,000 yen a month along with a ton of frustrations. Favoritism is one of the very few complaints that she has. She's also jealous of the top girl of the agency who doesn't seem to be someone she can look up to. Her remarks are mostly unpleasant and hateful. Her overall experience is not that great, and so a move to the Strawberry Productions would be great for her. We don't see what they decided to do with her after, but they at least have a vague idea of what Ruby's about to get into. Aqua's decision is clear. He's not going to let Ruby join an agency with such rumors and unhappy employees. Then in that case, you're never gonna join an agency. He even wants to hire people to worsen their reputation and ruin them completely. I guess we got an answer for Lala from Miyako. They have no intention of hiring her either. Ruby is still plenty excited to visit one of the concerts that she was invited to by the agency. Miyako tries to change her mind with some last-minute motherly manipulation, but Ruby was not about to doubt herself at that point. She truly believes she has the potential to be a great idol like her mom, which dang, does she not see where it ended for her mother. With this much said, Miyako takes a look at Aqua's face as if she was waiting for his approval. She asks her to avoid joining that agency and invites her to Strawberry Productions. Wait, you can do that? Then why are you not doing that in the first place? Miyako and Strawberry have the intention to put together a new idol group, much like Bikamachi. She even makes her sign some paperwork to make her feel like this is all legit, and I'm getting a great feeling that this is all fake and they're just trying to stall her. As for Aqua, half of his life is spent at the director's place. Since he's still in middle school, he can't get on with an actual job, so he just helps the director with film production. Didn't I say that they were in high school at the end of the first episode? Man, I don't get the plot, bro. They seem plenty close in how he talks to them. The director likes to keep touch with the life choices that Aqua's making at all times. He also wonders why Aqua has lost interest in acting, despite showing so much promise and dedication in his early days. Well, that's actually much more common than you would think. He has never thought of acting as his passion. It was just a means for him to get closer to their real father and figure out the man behind her mother's death. Now that, I don't know, is that more common than we think? Is that why people become actors? The only thing the director can say is be careful. That's literally all he says. They try to twist his words for some literary value, but that's what he means. The siblings are already already passed their middle school and are applying for the same high school. There it is, but different departments. Aqua leaves a lasting impressions based on his grades in an interview and somehow comes across Arimakana, the red-headed meanie from the last episode. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Oshinoko episodes 1 and 2. What'd y'all think? This is fracking weird. Let me know down in the comment section below. Apparently, this is one of the most blown up shows this season, and you can see why just based off of the recap alone. You should go actually watch it. That face I made when she died is fracking haunting. If y'all enjoyed the recap and want to see more, hit the like button. It shows your appreciation, and the subscribe button to keep up to date with all of our recaps. But to keep up to date with all of our recaps, and if you want the sauce, check out our Discord server down below. Thank y'all very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Love y'all. Peace.